The first car accident that my client was in was a decent case. The second car accident she was in, a month later, was a decent case. The third accident she was in made it a little bit more complicated. All of these things happened within a year's time. She's a wonderful person. I love her dearly. But boy, she ran into some bad luck,
Yeah.
all in 1 year.
Okay, Matt, we've had some rapid fire questions submitted regarding personal injury law. I haven't seen any of these, neither have you. I'll pick one, read it, you give an answer, and then we'll go back and forth, and maybe we'll share some limited wisdom. See what we got. All right.
I'm a little nervous. Hey, I get to go first.
Okay.
I get to go first. I call seniority.
I'll take
All
it.
right. So Wes,
Hit me.
what is the dumbest thing someone can do after a car accident?
So first, there's several things you could do, but I would say something that happens often with men especially. You know, when you're working in your yard and you wrench your back, mowing lawn or whatever, and you say to yourself, I tweaked it again. I'll lay low for a few days, it'll go away. And sometimes it does. Take some Tylenol, feeling better after a week. Car accidents are different. Guy gets in a car accident, neck's hurting after the accident, thinks the same thing. I'll lay low for a few days, I'll take some Tylenol, I'll be fine. A week passes, neck still hurts. 2 weeks pass, neck still hurts. Then he finally gets in to see his doctor. Well, what he is forgetting is that he has now just given the insurance company for the at-fault driver this gap, this 2-week gap for the insurance adjuster to point to and call me and say, Wes, don't tell me Mr. Jones was hurting so bad because for 2 weeks, he didn't do anything. And I can't show anything to rebut that because I don't have any medical records. I don't have statements or photos from that 2-week period of him on the couch in agony. So in answer to the question, I know we're supposed to keep it short. If you're hurting after an accident, get in, get treatment going and stay consistent. Listen to what your doctors are telling you so you don't create that gap in treatment.
That is a perfect answer.
Okay.
I would agree with that. I'm gonna add one more thing.
Yeah, please.
Another dumb thing that you could do after an accident is to talk with the other driver's insurance company and agree to give a recorded statement.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. It's they will use that against you. That is not going to help you at all. That's only going to hurt you. And so if you get in an accident, you talk with the other driver's insurance company, don't give a recorded statement. And you'll know it's a recorded statement because they will say, today is Thursday, September such and such,
Yep.
and I'm taking the statement of so-and-so. May I have your permission to record this statement? If they don't say that, then it's not a recorded statement. But if they say that, stop the conversation right away.
So you gave me another one here. To my clients will say to me, okay, what am I supposed to do if they call? And I'll say, well, you get to use the magic words. Call my lawyer. And then I tell them I have to hang up aggressively. So like that. Nowadays it's this, it's not this. Give them my age, but anyway. Okay, next one.
All right, ready.
Here we go. Oh, oops. That out, would you? Wow. When are clients' expectations too unrealistic?
Oh, that's a great question. One of the things that we have to do right up front when we meet with a client up front is say, all right, here's what your case is looking like. We don't know the value of your case. And I would say 50% of the time when we meet with a new client, they want to know, what's the value of my
What's
case?
it worth? What's it worth?
We don't know
Yep.
because we don't know what extent of the injuries you have to this point. We don't know what your treatment plan is going to be like. We have clients that begin treating with, let's say, with a physical therapist, and after about 3 months, they're just plateaued and nothing's better. And so they go and see their primary care physician, who then sends them to a pain management doctor. They might get an injection in their back, and it gives them a little bit of relief. So then they go back, get a second injection, gives them a little bit longer relief, and then they try to get something more done with their back, maybe a radio frequency ablation. All of these things will temporarily bring some relief. But then when that doesn't help, they sometimes need surgery. And there's no way for us to know at the beginning of the case if they're a surgical candidate. So that could be it could be $1 million case, or it could be a $20,000 case.
Yep.
And we just don't know up front. And so helping the client understand realistic expectations is on us. Unrealistic expectation is, okay, I'm in an accident, I feel some pain in my neck, I'm going to get $100,000.
Yeah.
Which we've had clients think that.
I explain to clients that, listen, we expend a lot of time and money researching jury verdicts, arbitration awards, because insurance companies do the same thing. And they look at that and they say, okay, based on similar facts, this is what a jury awards in this county, or this is what an arbitration award is in this county, so we're going to offer X. Well, we try to get the same information, and we have the benefit of our years of experience and several attorneys' years of experience here at the office. And so we do the best we can to shape the expectations early, but the earlier in time or closer in time of the accident, the expectation is, don't know yet. We just don't know yet. And need to understand that early.
All right, next question. What is a lie people believe about personal injury lawyers that drives you crazy?
I would say it's a stereotype just as much as it is a lie that we are often trying to ram settlement down our clients' throats. And what I mean by that is many personal injury attorneys, and the stereotype is well deserved because there are some out there, they are running their office in such a way that they want to get the money in as fast as possible. I tell my clients, I don't care how long it takes you in terms of your treatment. I care that you get better. So if you're better in 12 weeks after some chiropractic care, wonderful. Call us and make sure you let us know that you've been discharged. But if it takes you a year and a half and you have to get a bunch of treatment for your neck or your back or whatever it is, okay, then it takes a year and a half. That's fine. I'm not in a rush. And so not every personal injury lawyer is out there trying to force settlement down clients' throats. In fact, there are a few good ones like us who say, let's take our time and do this right.
Excellent.
All right, let's get you another question here. Are dash cams snitching or saving you?
That's a great question. I've often wondered whether I should get a dash cam. There are situations where the dash cam is going to be very helpful, and there's situations where it's going to be hurtful. And so we like dash cams. Frankly, we've never had a situation where a dash cam has been bad for us. It has only been advantageous for us. But then again, we're only representing people that are not at fault for the accident. Where it's really beneficial, even more than from our own clients, is if someone else has a dash cam,
Yeah.
and their dash cam catches
The
the accident where our client was not at fault.
Or intersection cameras.
We love intersection
Yeah.
cameras. So dash cams overall, I would say 90-10, good for the case.
I agree. Okay, my turn.
All right. I have in my hand,
Door number 3.
what is something people do to try to quote unquote help their case that actually ruins it? Or I would just say hurts it.
Or hurts their case.
And let me clarify that and say hurts it instead of ruins it, because there's a lot of times where people will do something that does hurt their case, and they'll come in and they'll talk to us. We still want to help them, and we'll still help them even if they've done something that has damaged their case. We'll let them know, but ruining it, there's very few times when someone has actually ruined it.
Yeah.
But what's something that might hurt a case?
I would say, this came up recently. Reading through a client's medical records, and she is adamantly almost giving advice to the doctor about what she thinks should be done for her injuries. And she had gone online and scheduled an appointment with Dr. Google. And real doctors will say, never go see Dr. Googly. All of his patients die. But she was telling her treating physician, here's what I read online in terms of my injury. Here's what I think you should do. And that never comes off well when you're trying to go through the record and create a demand letter or a mediation memo, because the other side is going to see every bit of the medical records if you're in litigation. And so going back to the previous answer, listen to your doctor, follow the doctor's direction, and stay continuous with your treatment. Don't try and direct your own treatment.
I'm going to add to that another thing that hurts a case, and that is when someone gives a recorded statement to the insurance company. If they give a recorded statement to the insurance company, that can hurt a case pretty badly.
One of the first
Don't do
things you taught me was never give them 2 bites at the apple. And a recorded statement is a first bite, a deposition is a second. And the distance in time between those two can be years. And you're not going to remember what you said in your recorded statement. And so they're going to pull it up. They're going to find inconsistencies, or they're going to test you on your knowledge a year ago. You're never going to be able to remember things. So
It's true. It's true.
that's a good one. Okay. Recording the insurance call, genius or felony?
So a little known fact about Arizona law is that if one person that's a party to that call knows that the call is being recorded, you can record it. And you don't have to tell the other side.
Mm-hmm.
And so I can record a telephone call if I'm talking with somebody. And as long as I know that I'm recording it, it's legal. Isn't that weird? It's just a strange law. And so it's not that we encourage our clients to record calls or don't encourage them to record it, but it's not a felony and it's okay to do. And especially if you're wanting to remember what the adjuster said on the phone,
Yeah.
Sure, report it. That's just fine.
And you avoid the problem entirely, or the concern about that entirely, once you've hired your law firm, because your law firm should be doing all the communication with the insurance company. The insurance company knows that, so they're going to stop bothering you. So not a felony.
Amen.
Don't make it a problem.
All right, is it my turn?
Yep.
Okay.
Who you want?
Here we go. Have you ever had a case that sounded amazing, but was actually a nightmare?
Yes, said every personal injury lawyer ever. Yes, I have. I think we all have. I remember we were talking about this a while ago. Personal injury cases often are like onions. And sometimes as you peel the layers of the onion, they get stinky. Or you find a brown spot, or you discover this onion is not suitable for consumption. But yes, I got a good one. Lady, it was a trip and fall case at a major grocery store chain here in the Valley. Liability was clear. The other side had even accepted liability, which is not very common in a trip and fall case. And I had asked the client, okay, these are the injuries we're alleging. I need to know how you were doing before you fell. Tell me about any issues you've had with your back before you fell. And the client said to me, none. I was perfectly healthy. I was doing good. And he was a construction worker, and he had been doing work for a long time and didn't have any workers' compensation claims or anything like that. From what he told me, everything looked good. Well, what he conveniently forgot was just a week before the fall in this grocery store chain, he had gone to see an orthopedic surgeon about his back. And that orthopedic surgeon said, not only are you surgical, I would have done surgery a year ago. So don't lie to your spouse, don't lie to your lawyer, don't lie to your doctor. We're on that list. That's one way to sink your case pretty darn quick.
I had my case, and I've had a few, but in 32 years of practice, that happens. But I had a case where the first car accident that my client was in was a decent case. The second car accident she was in, a month later, was a decent case. But that makes it really difficult to determine which injuries were caused by which accident. The third accident she was in, 4 months after the first accident, made it a little bit more complicated. Finding out she was in another accident a month before the first accident she saw me for was complicated. This all happened between December and May, and then in August, she had a car accident where she was at fault. Then another incident where she tripped and fell and hit her head, and most of her injuries were dealing with her neck and or her head. Another incident where a football hit her in the head and gave her a concussion. All of these things happened within a year's time, and to divide up those injuries and delineate which injuries were caused by which incident was really hard. Amazingly, we were so blessed, and we got a good result. And she's a wonderful person. I love her dearly. But boy, she ran into some bad luck all in 1 year. And gratefully, we were the ones that got to take care of her. And so I wouldn't call it a nightmare, but it was a really, really difficult case. And we settled the case. I think we were about 3 weeks out from trial before the insurance companies all came together and said, well, I'll pay this much, we'll pay that much, we'll pay that much. And we finally got it done.
I remember you
was
coming around my
miraculous.
office and saying, Wes, will you just go take so-and-so's keys away? She cannot be on the road. Because it was such bad luck, poor woman.
Yeah.
All right,
Wes, let's do one more.
that sounds good to me. If you had 30 seconds to warn accident victims, what would you say?
I had 30 seconds
Just
to
30
warn
seconds
them.
to warn accident.
After the accident or before the accident?
Question didn't say.
So the first warning is, watch out for that.
Yeah.
But if it's after the accident, I would tell them to make sure that they take photographs before they leave the scene of an accident. Make sure that they get witness information. There's so many times where a witness is there and the police officer doesn't list the witness on the accident report, and we all assume that the officer is going to list them. Get their name, get their address, get their phone number, if nothing else, because they're going to be very helpful for the case. Call an attorney right away, even from the scene of the accident if you can. Call East Valley Injury Law, and we can walk you through the steps that you need to take so that you don't make the mistakes that too many people make before it's too late.
No. Good answer. Agree wholeheartedly.
Wes, this has been great. It's been fun talking with you about these cases. It's been fun with the rapid fire. I'm just going to ask you one last question. Why should somebody hire Wes Wright? Or any of the attorneys at East Valley Injury Law?
So you could focus on your health and forget about the rest, or try to forget about the rest. It is much more difficult to heal as quickly as your body wants to when you've got skyrocketing levels of stress and frustration because you've got some insurance company calling you, asking you questions you don't know if you should answer, you don't know how to answer, worrying, is that going to be used against me later on? Your focus should be on your health, and give us the burdens of dealing with paying bills, dealing with providers, dealing with insurance companies, because we can handle that.